Okay. Hello, everyone. Welcome. Thanks for joining us. Uh, this is, in case you've hit the wrong Zoom link, just checking, as it says on the slide, um, it's about making tax digital, MTD, as everyone's calling it for short, or MTD for it. I'll explain that in a moment. But it is now just around the corner. So, by way of quick introductions, this is me. I run a digital-only practice using a couple of primary tools. One is Xero for more established, bigger clients potentially, and the other is a product called Dext. And Dext is a fantastic tool, Dext. You'll get the details later. Don't worry about writing it down. I'm very privileged to have Robin Ebers, who's a practice solutions expert. Got it right that time, Robin, from Dext, who will kindly run a quick demo of how Dext can solve this particular problem. But I won't try and steal your thunder, Robin, or give too much details now. This this presentation is a fairly quick, it possibly will run over half an hour with Robin's demo, but it's fairly short and snappy. It's not intended to give lots of fine detail, look at edge cases and exceptions and all those kinds of things. There's an old saying that the only thing that stays the same in tax is that it never stays the same. Everything changes all the time, and I've seen that plenty of times. Outlived so many chancellors. I mean, not in life, a few, but making tax digital. It's not. It may be something you've heard about. I'm not quite sure what it means. Maybe something you know quite a lot about. It may be something that you've had a brown envelope with a letter in saying you have to do it, and you think, crumbs, you've got to do it. From our perspective, it's not an issue that something that's ever would have worried us as an issue, because we deal with cloud accounting, and in a sense, a lot of the tech would have been ready to do this even a decade ago. There's a questions and answers. But if you've got questions, put them in the Q&A box. I'll probably not notice them as we go along, but we'll pick some up at the end. And I do have a few questions that people have asked in previous webinars. I've been doing this more or less once a month for the last 6 or 7 months. Oh, in the chat, I said Q&A, didn't I? I'll pick them up from either. Okay. Making tax digital. Tax returns changed hugely 25 years ago. If you were in business doing tax at that stage, before that stage, things were completely different. And I won't bore you with anecdotes about how different they used to be, but that was a huge change, moving it from the HMRC assessment to self-assessment. But this, for those affected, is a much bigger change. And in a way, people who say, "Oh, this is too much. This is way too much. Why do we have to do this stuff? Only stupid bureaucrats could have thought this out." But we're actually just joining the modern world. It's not something that HMRC thought of themselves. Different parts of the world, different territories are doing things along the same kind of lines. And once you listen to my explanation, you might think this is intrusive. But in some countries, for example, if you make a payment to another business from your business, you have to do it via the government, not just bank to bank, bank to government, government to the supplier's bank. That's one way of keeping track of things, I suppose. And a lot of people have whinged about this over many years, because it's been postponed a few times. A lot of people have whinged about it, and it's been postponed more than once. But don't hope it'll go away. It's definitely happening this time around. Its title of this is just around the corner. Well, what are we now? 5 weeks away for those affected in the first tranche. So, who knows who's ready? These figures, to be fair, as I said to you, Robin, the other day, are a bit out of date. But there were surveys done. It's not such a recent survey now. 31% had not heard of making tax digital. 32% had heard of it, but were not going to do anything about it. And of accountants, 42% were not prepared, 41% were somewhat prepared. That was a frightening number. I mean, I don't need a calculator for that. That's 83% somewhat prepared. Crumbs. Anyway, making tax digital, the timeline. Who is it affected? It is like this. And I'll talk about what the definition of income is in a moment. If you have the relevant incomes of more than 50,000 in total, then as of the 6th of April 2026, that's the 5-6 weeks away, you will be mandated. You will have to be keeping digital records, making the relevant filings. If you're in the band where the incomes, the combined relevant incomes are between 30 and 50, then we're looking at April 27 when it will become mandatory, and April 28 for those with incomes over relevant incomes over 20,000. So this one, 50,000, makes it it'll be mandatory for April 26. How do they know? You will be mandated. It'll be compulsory for you if your figures on the relevant boxes of your 24-25 tax returns, the ones that were filed by the 31st of January this year, were more than 50,000. You will get a brown envelope with a letter saying you must do it. No choice. The limits are relevant to business plus lettings, and it's takings or turnover or total fees if you're in the self-employed world, and it's rents, not rent profits. Not after offsetting. Can we offset interest? What about the insurance and the repair? No, it's about rents. And the figure is business plus lettings. So if you've got a small business or a freelance work, that brings in 30,000, and you've got a property or a couple of properties let, and they bring in 30,000 rent, that's over 50,000 you're in as of April 26. Same figures for April 27 and April 28. 20,000, not so much. They really want to make sure that the larger businesses who might know more what they're doing are in the first tranche from April 26. What does it mean? There are two prongs, I've said. All the focus has been on the quarterly filings, but making tax digital isn't just about doing filings. It's about having a digital record, digital books, and I'll talk about what that actually means in a moment. The digital record means a record of income and costs, what they were, that's by type, when they were, and details of the transactions. Those details don't, at the moment, in the regulations, require you to put the names on. Why you would keep a set of books without the names on, I can't imagine. But it's not in the regulations as yet. And software. Yeah. Paper records, their history. Unless you want to bring your paper records to somebody else and get them to put it into a digital record. It's possible, just about possible, not necessarily the most efficient way of doing things, but you can. And Dext, it might be a mechanism for that to be done. But really, Dext is also a mechanism for doing it all the time, live. We would definitely recommend real software that's built for the purpose. Dext is a perfect example. And the thing is, the underlying logic behind making tax digital isn't about being intrusive, it's about improving business records. We've used different systems, Dext and Xero, and another one called Hammock, and one or two others in our practice for a number of years. And clients who adopt those systems not from making Dext digital. They just adopt those systems. They've suddenly got hugely better records and hugely better systems than they had before. And they're almost taken aback when they see how easy it is and what benefit it gives them. There are workarounds. If you think I will never leave Excel, um, good luck. It's possible. There are ways of working around that. You have to build things into the spreadsheets, and you have to use a bridging software solution. This is a route that can work for some people, and if people want to do this, that is the way around it. It's a way of meeting the minimum, having your records meet the obligations you're required to do. It won't help you much in terms of running your business, but that's a solution for some people. I'll say up front, if you want to work with Next Accounting, that's not a solution that we'll be working with. Choosing software. HMRC launched a tool. I don't know how long ago was it, Rob? About 6 months, 9 months? I don't know. A tool to choose the right software to suit your circumstances. Now, it has been hugely improved, I think, from when I field tested it when it was first launched. But that would be a really useful thing to guide traders or landlords if it wasn't rubbish. It's not so rubbish as rubbish as it was. But when I tested it, it recommended a great piece of software as an all-in-one solution. I'll talk about what that means in a minute. But I know that the version that's available outside accountancy practices does not include the year-end version. So it's not an all-in-one solution. It also recommended a purely landlord piece of software to sole traders. I don't know. I don't know what they were thinking. It also does recommend some software that I have come across, and they would be definitely ones I would describe as not touching those with a barge pole ever again. One of them is one called Cashflow. There are lots of pieces of software. Some are great, and I don't know them about them at all. But I do know that this HMRC tool will recommend some software that I would definitely recommend steering clear of. So, and this is where Robin is going to come in. We got two key recommendations based on our experience. Dext owner, I don't want to steal her thunder, Robin, but
That's fine.
frankly, it couldn't be a solution more tailored to a small business or a freelancer. And it ends up being a process. We've got clients who've been using Dext for years, many years. In fact, almost since it was launched. And clients end up thinking, oh, Lord, how am I going to manage this? But in fact, all they need to do is use the phone to take some pictures. If they get some emails with stuff on that they need in the business, in records, they just forward it. And that's it. That's the cost side done. And then they can raise sales invoices and just send them out. It couldn't be easier. Certainly much better than any Word or Excel template that your cousin's nephew gave you. Cousin's nephew. Yeah, no, I'm not going to try and work that out. And letting income. If you are a landlord, if you've got one property or you've got loads, and that's what you do, it's not a little sideline, then we recommend another great solution called Hammock, geared to landlords. If you're a trader with a busy trade and a buy-to-let, it was your great aunt's property flat and you just left out. Well, Dex can handle that. You don't need Dex and Hammock, but take a look at both. That's what I'd recommend. In Hammock, add in your properties. It loads up your pictures, gives you valuation estimates, and it connects to your bank as Dex does, or as any good cloud software does. Oh, that was last time. Right, great. It should have said at the bottom that, and the good thing is that Robin is here to demonstrate Dext. We had James from Hammock on the previous webinar. So, Robin, do you want to jump in at that stage?
Yeah, absolutely. Let me share my screen and I will run through how Dex Solo works. Can you see that all okay?
Yeah. Well, I
Amazing.
can.
Perfect. That's the main thing. If you can, everyone should be able to see it. So when you first log in, I just need to change actually to my. When you first initially log in to your Dext Solo account, the first thing you'll see is your navigation panel on your left-hand side. And what that basically means is it has the workspaces where you can upload items into your costs. So that will be for your expenses, your sales side, and then your bank and your vault. So what we're going to do today is we're just going to run through each workspace, give a high level overview of how they work and how easy it is to input the relevant information that you're going to need for MTD for IT. So how to get documents in. The first place that you'll see within here, I'm on the web browser, so you've got the option to add documents. Whatever button you click, so it's in the top right and the top left, they both take you to exactly the same place. You'll see the first upload method, which is drag and drop to upload. So any files that you may have on your laptop, you can literally just drag and drop into here and it will upload into your costing box. We then have invoice fetch, so you can connect up to different suppliers. So let's say, for example, you have an Amazon business account and you want to connect it up. What that basically means is you log into your Amazon, give authorization, and then it will automatically pull through all them invoices for you. So rather than you having to upload them yourself, we do the work for you. I'll come back to creating mileage, but we then have extract by email. So this is going to be really useful if you currently send anything over via email, or if you maybe receive receipts or supplier invoices via email. What you can do rather than downloading them and then uploading them, just CC them onto this email address and they'll automatically upload and extract the relevant information for you. We then have a Snap on mobile. So what that basically means is we have a mobile phone app on the Android and on the iPhone. And whatever one you're using, it's a nice, straightforward, user-friendly app. I have shared a link with Malcolm that he can share after in regards to what the mobile app looks like. It's literally like a 15-minute training video and just showing you how user-friendly and easy it is to get information in using the mobile app. The last thing to mention on here that's not actually visible is WhatsApp. So how that would work is when you initially get set up your Dext Solo account, your number would be added and you can activate WhatsApp. And what that basically means is you'll receive a message from WhatsApp on WhatsApp from Dext, sorry. You would say, yes, I'm happy to activate it and link it to this account. And then any cost receipts, say that you've gone out and got some petrol, you can take a picture, upload it into your WhatsApp message to Dext, and it will automatically upload into here. So the real thing about this is the fact that you probably at the moment worry whether you've kept all the correct receipts. Whereas if you're using something like Dext and you upload it into here and you lose the receipt, that's absolutely fine because it's all stored in here and you basically don't need to worry about it again. So what I'll do is I'll then jump back into the costing box and we'll run through that and then we'll go through the other workspaces and how you get information into there. Before I jump into that, actually, the last thing to mention was creating mileage. So within the web browser and the mobile app, you can create mileage claims. So if this is something that you currently send a mileage number over to your accountant currently, or you do different trips for your business, what we can do within Dext is you can create a mileage claim by entering the location you started and the location you finished, and then you can do the route that you've taken and it will give you the correct calculation for that trip. Now, what's really exciting is if you're using the mobile app, you've got GPS tracking. So it's literally just start and stop and it will do the whole journey for you. So even more automated than that. Perfect. So jumping into a cost item, if we jump into this British gas bill here. So what you can see is we have a British gas bill and all the key relevant information on our right hand side here has been extracted off this invoice and entered the key fields into here automatically for you, so you don't need to worry about that. Um,
Yeah,
if,
no, can I just jump in,
of
Robin?
course you
A
can.
lot of people kind of, you're so used to it and I'm used to it, they just don't expect it. You literally just put the document in and you only have to look at anything that's highlighted. All that other information is just pulled off the document by Dext.
Yes, yeah, exactly. And the information, like Malcolm mentioned, it will highlight if anything's kind of missing. So in this example here, this particular client has self-employment and they also have rental property. So as Malcolm mentioned, you don't need to have two different softwares. If you do have that scenario, you can use Dex Solo and you just can allocate. In this example, this relates to my self-employment, so I'm going to choose that income source as that it relates to. What you'll also notice is it will categorize it correctly for you. So what I mean by that is when when you upload items, so say for example British Gas, and the first time you uploaded, you categorized it to rent rate, power, and insurance because that's what it relates to. And this is something you're going to want to be doing. You're going to want to start getting a little bit more involved, and you want to categorize. What Dex will do is if you keep categorizing it to the same category, it will auto categorize it going forward. So it'll be like, we recognize that the last 5 times you've uploaded, 5 times, for example, I have uploaded a British Gas invoice, you've categorized it here, so we've automatically put it there for you. Jumping back into the costing box, what's really important is the fact that you're uploading everything into here, and obviously sometimes you may need to go back into your documents and you may need to find something. Let's say, for example, it was relating to a vehicle of yours and you need to find that document. And because you're not keeping your paperwork up to date because it's all in Dext, that's absolutely fine. We have an advanced search functionality. So what that basically means is if I click on this car receipt here, we've got a car parking ticket, and it's been uploaded. All the relevant information has been entered for us, and we've got our number plate on here, SR65BVH. Now, on here, you can't see that, but just because we haven't entered that into these boxes, it doesn't mean we don't read the whole receipt. So if I needed to search something for SR65BVH, SR65BVH, it will bring up everything that's been uploaded under that number plate. So if you ever are looking for something and you can't remember who you bought it off, or maybe you have an insurance document and you can't remember who the insurance was with, you can just use that advanced search functionality and it will automatically it will automatically pull that into that search bar for you. So really nice and quick, easy way for you to find the relevant information. If you are using Dex Solo, you have a few options. So you have your costs, your sales, and your bank, and you have complete flexibility of how you want to use each workspace. So if you are using all workspaces together, so if you've got your bank feed connected and you're uploading your cost items, what's really great about Dex Solo is it will recognize any receipts that you've uploaded that match against the bank transactions. So for example, if we go back into that British Gas one and I scroll down here, we've got a bank match. And what that's basically saying is we recognise that this receipt matches this bank transaction and we've matched them up together for you. So I'll show you what that looks like when we jump into the bank side, but it's making sure that everything's neat and tidy and then all ready to go for them quarterly updates. The other thing to mention is, let's say maybe you've paid something in cash and you don't have a receipt, and you need it to be in Dex Solo for the quarterly updates. That's absolutely fine. You can create a document within here and explaining what that cash item was. Maybe you've paid for a cleaner or whatever it may be. You can create a document, enter in the information, and then Dex will generate a receipt looking like that. And again, with all the key fields, so it will pick up for them quarterly updates to send to HMRC. Then jumping into the sales space. So just I won't go into all add-in documents into too much detail again because it's very similar to how you get items into the costing box. One area that is slightly different, as Malcolm mentioned, you are able to create sales invoices from within here. So you can create quotes or sales invoices, quotes and sales invoices, or just sales invoices. And how that basically works is within here and within the mobile app, you can create and send sales invoices directly to your clients. So you would set up your clients within this list, and then you would have your products and services. This would also get set up in the initial setup when you jump into Dext Solo, and the cost items will automatically fill in, but if you need to amend anything, you can. So if you need to add any information there. Now, if I view that PDF, this is exactly what we'll send directly to your clients. So if you have a logo that you want to add and customize it, you can do that all within here. So you have then the option to finalize the invoice. Oh, let me pop in a due date. Finalize the invoice, and then you've got the option to send it via Dext straight to your clients. You can download it and share it yourself, or you can say, actually, I don't want to share it for now. But you've got these options within here and the mobile app. So if it's something that you are currently doing and maybe, or like Malcolm mentioned, using Word documents, rather than doing that and having to use two different softwares, everything's going to be in one place for you now. What we also have is if within the sales space, if you are fall under the construction industry scheme, that's absolutely fine. You can upload your CIS within this CIS invoices, or maybe your statements. You can upload them into here, and then it will correctly pick up. Like, for example, we've got our CIS invoice here and we've got our CIS labour. So when it gets sent to HMRC, it will send the correct amount for you. And then the last thing to mention is rental statement extraction. So maybe if you are using the Solo for your rental property and your self-employment, you have got your rental statement extraction within here. And what that basically means is you can drag and drop a rental statement in this section. And if I click into here, we've got a rental statement. And then if I scroll down, it will extract for you line by line. So rather than you having to come to manually type up the rental income and the management fee, it's automatically done for you, the extraction. So that's how the cost and sales work. Now on the bank side of things, so within the bank accounts, you would go add bank account, and that's where you can connect to your bank feed. And what I mean by connect to your bank feed, it literally just, you follow the steps, you choose your bank account, you log in, and then it will automatically pull through the transactions for you. So connecting your bank feed up is not only going to save your accountant a huge amount of time, it's going to save you a huge amount of time, because you're not going to have to worry about providing PDF bank statements, exporting them off, sending them over. It's all automatically going to be in here for you. So really important thing, and I definitely recommend getting that set up wherever you can. How that then pulls through is we have the transaction section. So the transactions are from that bank feed, you can automatically pull through, from that bank feed, it will automatically pull through the transactions within this section here. And this is where you'll find, so for example, I'm going to filter down match so I don't scroll through all the transactions for you, but just to show you how that British Gas bill looks. So we've got that payment coming through the bank. We can see it's been matched to that transaction, that cost receipt in our cost space. So we have the option there, and if you maybe have made two payments to a supplier, or one payment to a supplier that relates to two receipts, or maybe two sales invoices have been paid at once, that's also absolutely fine. You can just click match, tick the ones it's been paid to, click match, and then that's automatically all reconciled and matched for you. If you're going off just the bank, that's also absolutely fine. Within this space here, you can categorize. So I have an income source section. The reason behind, as mentioned earlier, I do have two income sources on here. If you just have the one sole trading income source, you don't need to worry about that column. But what you can do is you can choose the categories that it related to. You can come in and tick the boxes and click bulk edit and categorize that way. So really nice and quick and automated. Or if you've got reoccurring transactions that are constantly coming in, you can even set up bank rules. So again, rather than you having to always come in and set up the same, let's say, for example, Netflix is coming through your bank and you know that's not a business expense, it's a personal expense. So what you can do is you can click create rule, pop in Netflix, and it will pull through all the Netflix transactions, click create, and then them Netflix transactions will automatically be categorized to personal. So any recurring transactions like that, you don't need to come in every single time and categorize them. Setting up things like rules is really going to help automate the quarterly returns for you rather than you having to come in and do it yourself. Again, with the bank space, if you need to search any transactions, you've got that advanced search functionality. If you want to filter in and you are coming in and categorizing yourself, you can just say anything without a category, please can I look at? And you can come in and categorize nice and quickly that way. If you've got a transaction that maybe needs to go to two different categories, you can also do that within here. You can say this needs to be split. But everything else is pretty much nice and straightforward of getting information in. So you've got the cost upload methods, you've got the sales upload methods, you can connect to your bank feed, and you can set up different rules to really help automate. The last thing to mention on here is Vault. So this is just a safe storage place for you. So, oh, where's that gone? Sorry, 2 secs, it just disappeared. Is that gone? There we go. This is just the safe storage place for you. So what that basically means is if you have insurance documents, gas certificates, car documents that you want to now keep everything indexed, you can do that using this place here, because that might not be relevant for the quarterly update, but you might want to keep it with all your business information. So you can use that storage space there to keep everything within that one platform. But yeah, I think that's everything on the Dext side that I wanted to show you today. I will stop sharing my screen, but as mentioned, we have got some training videos that I can share with Malcolm that he can send out to you guys with a bit more in depth on the mobile app and other tips and tricks. Perfect.
Okay, Robin, thank you ever so much. I'll jump back in. I'll add one or two comments to what you've done, talked about on Dext. Just to share something a bit different. Can I just check, is everybody seeing the HMRC notice making tax digital? Thank you. You might have thought that the category that seemed like a funny mix of things when you were looking at the cost example. This is the official guidance. These are the headings that are the filings need to have costs and so on analysed through. That's the rental side. This is the business side. And there's nothing new there. Those are the boxes on the tax return, the existing self-assessment tax return. But the software Dext, assuming you're going to use Dext, and I really recommend it, is geared to doing it all for you and populating those things. You're back seeing the slide deck?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you, Robin. And Robin was trying to demonstrate lots of different ways you can use Dext in a very short time. Thank you, Robin. But if you work with Naked Accounting, we will set the Dext up for you. We will handhold you through the process, getting documents in, getting transactions, how they're automatically coded, that kind of thing. And you don't have to use every aspect of Dext. Some people, correct me if I go wrong, Robin, I mean, some people will just connect the bank feed and code the bank transactions.
Exactly.
And the Dext will automatically code a lot of it for you. Some people will use it to capture all the receipts and the invoices, especially if there's a lot of them. They'll do the sales side outside Dext, but then there are ways of getting the sales side into Dext because it all has to be in there for the quarterly filings. I'll pick on one phrase, Robin. You said well, if you were looking for something, when you're illustrating the search, if your paperwork's not up to date, say if it's in Dext, it is up to date. What you mean is you haven't got boxes with labeled car and box around your living
Yes. Yeah.
room. No, but people do worry that they say, do I have to keep all these receipts? And the answer is no. Well, yes, you are keeping them. You're keeping them in software. You don't need
Yes.
to keep the paper. You definitely don't. That search facility is phenomenal. It's not just, you don't have to navigate through the software to find something. You think, oh, where would that have been coded? You don't need any of that. That search is unbelievable to find documents. One thing you didn't mention, Robin, probably for time, if you're doing in the business and doing lots of quotes, you can send quotes from Dext and direct to customers. You create the quote really quickly, hit the send button, it's gone. It's not called send, is it? Well, I can't remember what the button's labeled, but that's a phenomenally useful facility, and you can turn the quote into an invoice. So all in all, we've been using Dext, as I say, since it launched. It was called Receipt Bank when it was first launched, and at that time people didn't believe what it did. And I remember standing up at what were Receipt Bank demos to accountants and said, yes, it does. We've used it, and it does do this. There's a lot of screens that Robin ran you through, but it really is easy meat once you get going. Okay, now need to get back on the control panel from this. Okay, we've talked about the records. Robin mentioned lots of times there's the quarterly filings. You have MTD. You don't just have to have a digital record. You have to make the quarterly filings direct from the software. If you're used to doing anything where you log in on the web and you key some numbers in, well, that's history. That's gone. You have to key it in. You have to have it in your software and press the submit button, and it will go in. There are 4 quarters. They have to be these quarters. You can't choose different quarters to match maybe your VAT returns. It has to be January to March, April to June, etc. You might, if you're registered with VAT and your VAT quarters are different, you might want to change VAT quarters, but you cannot change the MTD quarters. And there's what I've referred to here as a year-end adjustment. They've changed multiple times what this is called. If you do self-assessment returns for now, 24-25 tax year, 25-26 tax year, but you're mandated to be an MTD, making tax digital, you will not do another self-assessment tax return. The year-end filing replaces it, and you can't mix and match. And the reason is that HMRC, the MTD system, is a new system. It is taking over for those that it includes. So you will not be able to file an old-style self-assessment return. It'll feel quite similar, especially if you're working with a firm of accountants, but it is not the same thing as what's now become an old-style self-assessment return. And that end-of-year adjustment filing, it brings in all the other information that's not in your business or your letting income, bank interest, dividends, and high income child benefit charge, capital gains, all the other things that go into calculating your tax. But they'll be calculated for assessing your tax through the year-end adjustment filing that will be within the MTD system. There's no tax to pay. Now, if only that was the whole truth. There's no tax to pay on quarterly filings. Okay, these quarterly filings, you have to file them. It's not a choice, but it's not changing the tax payment regime. The dates, the January only dates, or the January and July dates, depending on which system you're in or which amounts you have to pay, they stay the same. VAT returns are completely separate. I've said that just now. And the quarterly returns are for each trade and letting business. So when Robin was demonstrating income sources, Dext will be able to file, if you've got a corner shop and a consultancy business, that's a filing for each quarter, but you can have them both in Dext and it'll be all in the one place. But you do have to do 2 filings. And penalties. There are penalty points. They add up, but they don't make prizes, and they do add up. You don't kick off with a penalty initially. This is the phrase MTD for ITSA, Making Tax Digital for Income Tax Self-Assessment. They're on the same rules as VAT. VAT's been making tax VAT for making. I'll scrub that. Making Tax Digital for VAT has been in place for a number of years now. But it has the same system for garnering points. You don't want points. If you've got 4 lates, you get 4 points. That's £200. But if you leave it and you don't make the filings, they can quickly ratchet up. If you've got a Making Tax Digital trade, a VAT registration, and a Making Tax Digital letting, that's 3 filings every quarter. By the second year, you could be up to £3,000 in penalties just for not doing the filings on time. Don't file them all one day late. Equal the same penalties. Landlord issues. I won't dwell on this. The filings have to be for each person, not for each property. So if you've got joint ownership, that's 2 filings between 2 people, that is. You put in the filing for Making Tax Digital, your share of the property. I wouldn't recommend using these, but it is possible to have these 2 easings. So I wouldn't go down that route, because if you've got decent software, Dext or Hammock, you won't need that. Right. Something I should have made clear at the beginning. It's not a myth. I've just remembered that I usually mention it at the beginning. Who does MTD apply to? I talked about the combined incomes. That's the combined incomes of your self-employment, sole trade, freelance, whatever you want to call it, and your rents through your rental property. It does not include partnership income. It does not include income from a limited company. So if you think of yourself as a freelancer, but you're actually trading through a limited company, Making Tax Digital is for income tax, not for corporation tax. It's not applicable. If you've got a partnership or a company and you've got a freelance consultancy shop or whatever, it's the self-employment bit or the rental income bit that you have to take into account for these figures. You don't have to add in the company parts. Bear with me a second. Okay. So, surely there's free software. Well, if you work with us, we pay the software costs anyway, but we won't keep it a secret. Dext is incredibly good value. But if you're expecting free software, there is free software, I think, that might do it, but most of it won't really do the job, not for very long anyway. HMRC are not creating any software for this. It's not just that you can't put data in through their website. They're not creating any software for it. And most software vendors that say they're free, you possibly all fall into this trap on one form of software or another. They're free until you find something you need to do. It says, oh no, that's the paid for version. Yeah. And will Making Tax Digital tell you your tax bill? HMRC will estimate it, and that data will be available. The HMRC estimate will be available within the softwares, Dext or Hammock or any other MTD compatible software. But that is an estimate. It is not your tax bill. Do not take it as gospel. It won't include year-end adjustments for maybe capital equipment or whatever. It won't include other incomes that are not within MTD. I can see it now coming now, 18 months time, somebody saying, what? HMRC says my tax bill's 5,000. Why are you saying 10,000, Malcolm? Don't don't trust the figures. It's not that they're bad, but they don't take account of the complete picture. Myths. I don't need to think about this till afterwards, like I do now for self-assessment. I'll just get it all bundled up and take it to my accountant or my cooperative nephew who's good with computers. It's a mandatory requirement to keep the digital record for each quarter as we go along and to do the filings. If you're going to have the quarterly update ready, then you've got to be running the software as you go. Please don't think, oh, when do I have to do this? Oh, there's something about MTD, isn't there? Then you'll get it. I don't know how HMRC are going to communicate yet to remind you. But if it gets to April, May, June, and you get to the 25th of July, and you think, oh, I better do something about this. I've got a reminder from HMRC. I can't remember what I had to do. If you've not been maintaining the software, the records as you go, that's going to be difficult, especially July and the first week of August. The deadline's at the end of the first week of August. You might find quite a lot of people are not available. What do you need to do? Summary. Speak to some professionals. Obviously, speak to us. We're really happy to talk to anybody. Keep your financial records effectively. Don't just budget. If you're using a piece of software like Dext and you don't think it's right, don't wait. Make sure it's been checked out. And utilize software solutions like Dext and Solo and Hammock. I'll hold over on the questions so I can jump to this screen. Depending on how used you are to these things, these funny patterns are QR codes. If you hold your camera up, your phone, and you just use the camera and just hold it up, you don't need to press the button to take a picture. Your phone will recognize those, and they'll take you straight through to links that will be explanatory. I don't know if your website includes this creature. Does he have a name, Robin?
He's just called the MTD Solo Monster.
Okay, the MTD Solo Monster. I've seen quite a lot of him recently.
Yeah.
But as Robin said, I've got links to video demonstrations, including of the mobile app. Some people use Dext Solo. They never switch on the laptop. You can basically do virtually everything from your phone and really quickly and really easily. And it's up to you how much you want to involve your accountant as the year goes by. Anybody working with us will be checking in and checking things are right before we do the MTD filings, the quarterly filings. That's the end of the presentation in a sense. Thank you for listening and watching. And Guy, if you're here, thank you for listening. That's for somebody in particular. That QR code will take you straight to our website. And let me just check the tabs. Bear with me 1 second, everyone. Okay, you're a very happy audience, or perhaps you're dumbfounded. So I'll share some questions that we've had previously on other webinars. Yep. The first one I wrote down, somebody said, and people are still saying this, if you go on forums, maybe for your trade or whatever, you will still see people saying, surely I don't have to do this stuff. Why should I have to do this stuff? Yes, you do. It's a legal requirement. As I say, I'd recommend doing it anyway because it does improve your record keeping. And I mean, gosh, being able to you need something from 18 months ago and you think, oh Lord, I can't remember who that plumber was who did a repair. Just put your search into Dext, you found it. Huge improvement in your record keeping. Do I have to do this if I don't have self-employment income and I don't have property income? No, you don't. You will stick with self-assessment tax returns for the time being anyway. I'm not sure how many years they all go on, the old style self-assessment returns. Funny equipment we've gone around to calling them old style. I'm old enough to think they were a new style. Um, uh, yeah, someone said, I looked at some of the systems and they don't look to be really free. They're right. They're just not. Surely there must be some exemptions. There must be. Yes, there are. Um, I don't mean you're exempt if you're trading through a limited company or in a partnership or whatever, or if you're below the thresholds of rent plus sales values. There are some exemptions. It's very difficult to. Not many people are going to fit those exemptions. There's a quite complicated revenue webpage, HMRC webpage on the topic, but that really talks about lots of kinds of different situations before it then talks about the kind of people who will be exempt. Not many people will fit the exemptions, and you have to apply for the exemption as well. You can't just decide you're exempt. Yeah, what if I don't get a brown envelope? If you've got a trade and it's got over 50,000 of income in it, and you don't by any chance get a brown envelope to tell you you're in it, some mess up the address, the post office, or whatever, or for some reason HMRC haven't tweaked, who knows what the reason might be. That doesn't mean you're not legally obliged. Just because it's the phrase is mandation, you are mandated by HMRC to do run making tax digital systems and make the quarterly updates and the annual update. If you've got an income which means that you should be doing it, but they've forgotten to tell you, or for some reason you haven't got the envelope, you still have to do it. It's still a legal requirement. The ignorance of the law is no excuse. That's across everything, the English legal system. Yeah, no, I've had multiple questions multiple times about the tax. Just keep in mind, these are statutory requirements for record keeping and filings, the quarterly updates and the annual update. They do not affect your tax. If your software you're using shows an estimated amount of tax, you don't have to pay it. It's only an estimate anyway. But the tax payable dates are completely unchanged. Can't emphasize that enough. Okay, that's good. Okay, at that stage, I'll say thank you very much for everybody who's attended, and thank you. I'm looking down where you are on my screen, Robin. Switch share so I can put you under the camera and talk to you instead of your screen. Robin, thank you very much. Really appreciate it. There's lots of resources. We'll share the resources anybody who asks. And I'm going to repeat myself for about the 16th time. I cannot recommend highly enough. Use decent software, and I can't recommend Dext enough. It's just we've got some people in. There's a beta program for this tax year when it's not compulsory, including my son, who's a musician, and he thought, oh, Lordy Lord. I set him up on it the other day, and I said, well, that was easy. So it's not a big deal really, but it will be a big deal if you get penalties for not filing the things.
Don't leave it too late.
Yeah, dead right. All right, Robin, thank you very much. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Bye-bye.